Lee is going to stay far away from Florida, but it is going to bring some really big waves to the coast. What's going on, guys? I'm meteorologist Jonathan Kagis. In this video, we're going to talk about how dangerous it is going to be at the beach, not only through the weekend, but really into early next week as well, courtesy of Hurricane Lee finally making that turn north away from Florida. But again, its coastal impacts are going to be pretty big. Then we're going to go over the forecast, show you a future radar for North Florida, Central Florida, and South Florida. We're still going to be dealing with those afternoon and evening thunderstorms across a lot of the state. And then we're going to talk about the tropics, of course. We have Hurricane Lee. We'll get to that right off the bat. Margot's still out there, and then that new wave, Invest 97L, will show you the latest modeling when it comes to that. So there is Hurricane Lee again. It is far, far away from Florida, now making that turn. Again, the much anticipated, the well-forecast turn. Again, we talked about this was not going to come to Florida, even though it kind of looked like it was trying to draw to the west. It's because of that big upper-level dip in the jet stream. You see how far it is away, though, again, from the coast of Florida. More than 750 miles away as it's now beginning to lift again to the north. So we will continue to watch that move away from Florida, but bring us the dangerous beach conditions. Again, just to prove it, I'll show you the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. Again, lifting north, likely going to be impacting our friends as a strong tropical storm, potentially even still a hurricane, or becoming post-tropical. That's what that L means right here. So again, a formidable storm, no matter if it's still completely tropical or starting to lose its tropical characteristics. So that's going to be the deal again for parts of New England and parts of the Canadian Maritimes as we get into the weekend and early next week. Now, from Florida's standpoint, it's all going to be the rip current risk. Those are going to be through the roof for the rest of the week, into the weekend, and then maybe even into early next week as well. Again, here is the wave height color chart up top, if you will. And again, we're looking right along the coast here to get into that 6 to 9 foot range. We could have a few waves out at sea closer to 10 feet, but the biggest waves are going to stay towards the Bahamas and then closer to the center of the storm, which again is way, way out there over the Atlantic Ocean. But again, some nasty waves for the rest of Wednesday. There's Thursday morning, and again, we will see, again, those waves continue to be big through the end of the week. So here's Friday. We're seeing some improvements. We're back towards more of that bluish-greenish color here right along the coast. And again, that's going to be more like 5-6 foot waves for us, again, along really through about Fort Pierce, mainly west or north of West Palm Beach, I should say, and then closer to Jacksonville and then towards the Carolinas. So that's going to be something that we watch for the rest of the week ahead and then into the weekend. So something to keep in mind. Again, not the best idea to take the boat out, not the best idea to get in the water as well. In terms of those thunderstorms, we'll start with Central Florida, and then we will expand out into the entire state. A few thunderstorms by 4 o'clock. Really the same kind of deal as yesterday. A few of these try to linger for us as we get towards 7, 8 o'clock. You see them right there. The thunderstorm chances are going to be there. Some of them linger, again, just like the last couple of nights. Nice, smooth sailing on the way to work on Thursday. Just a few clouds passing by. And then we'll try to do it all again. I think the highest storm chance for Thursday is going to be west of the Orlando area, mainly for us closer to and around the I-75 corridor. So Ocala, Denellen, to the Villages, Bushnell, Lake Panasoffkee, into Coleman, maybe as far to the east as Tavares, Eustis, Mount Dora. So we're going to be watching that as well as we move into Thursday afternoon. For tomorrow, our high temperatures pretty much right where they've been, hanging tight in the lower 90s, maybe a notch or two above where we should be for this time of the year for interior Central Florida. We'll be back to the upper 80s in Daytona Beach, 87 degrees for us in Melbourne. Here's the deal. I wanted to show you the water vapor imagery just again to show you why Lee is making that turn north. I'm all about the why rather than just showing you the forecast here, because again, this is the only thing in question to turn Lee was, were the models going to be correct in putting this dip in the jet stream slicing across the nation's midsection? And the modeling was correct. Again, that was the only little bit of uncertainty. But even then, the models did a fantastic job highlighting this was going to start to lift Lee to the north. And you can already see that in the kind of the upper level cirrus clouds right in here. They're being pulled to the north. So Lee is already feeling the influence of that, and it's going to take that route up again. Unfortunately, it is going to impact land potentially significantly in parts of New England and the Canadian Maritimes. But again, the door is closed, as we've been talking about, for the Southeast and for the Mid-Atlantic because of that guy right there, that big dip in the jet stream. All right, back to the storms across the state of Florida. There is 4 o'clock for us. Scattered thunderstorms through central Florida, hanging on to a few towards Lake Okeechobee, towards extreme South Florida as well. Getting into Thursday, same kind of deal. We're going to fire up those storms again. 9 o'clock, we're looking good, though. That's 9 o'clock on your Thursday morning with a few of those scattered thunderstorms continuing. There we go at 5 with a few more storms building towards the Panhandle, and then building north of Orlando as well, west of Jacksonville, west of St. Augustine, and then we'll see the highest opportunity for thunderstorms, I think, later into the evening. Nice cluster trying to build in out of South Georgia into Jacksonville area, so be on the lookout for that. And then there's our I-75 eruption of thunderstorms, or give or take anyway, right down the spine of Central Florida. So for your pinpoint forecast for North Florida, the Panhandle into Jacksonville, we will continue to watch those thunderstorm chances as I'll take the screen full for you. 40% shot for storms in Jacksonville tomorrow, 92 in Tallahassee, 40% chance. Cedar Key, what's going on? 20% shot for storms for us tomorrow. I think most of the day is dry as we'll fire up those storms just inland of us in Cedar Key. For Ocala, we'll have a better chance for those storms, as we showed you on Future Radar. The sea breeze erupts and then pushes towards inland Central Florida. 30% shot in Orlando, 40% chance for storms in Tampa. Vero Beach, hope you're doing well. 40% chance for those storms as well tomorrow, Thursday afternoon and evening. 20% shot in Fort Pierce. The rain chances are lower as a whole for most of South and Southwest Florida, but you do see where we have the higher storm chances for us. Fort Lauderdale at about a 40% chance for storms. Miami, we will see a 60% chance for rain on Thursday. Here is the full tropical update for you. We can clearly see where Lee is. Again, still holding its own here. Here is Bermuda. They'll be dealing with tropical storm conditions on Thursday morning. Here you go with Hurricane Margot still hanging out, and then here is our cluster, a high shot for development. We keep on talking about this. I think it's going to take its time to get together because there are so many thunderstorms around competing to be the dominant round of thunderstorms to where that low-level center will eventually develop. So it's going to take its time a little bit, but the good news is models continue to highlight here that this is going to avoid the Caribbean. There's some shenanigans out here towards the future. You see the TVCon. Again, this is a consensus model. The Hurricane Center really likes to use this one, and it's kind of pointed in this direction. We will see if it follows the GFS in purple here and some of the other modeling that kind of take it around before it gets to Bermuda. But there have been some model guidance that we're suggesting this getting closer to the United States before it does make that turn, kind of something similar to what Lee did. So we're going to watch that. There's a lot of uncertainty again in that time frame. Again, this is over the weekend and beyond where we would be watching that. But again, in the short term and long term, this does not look like it is going to be a threat for Florida. So again, just keep that in mind. I think through at least the next 7 to 10 days, we have nothing to worry about tropically, at least coming at us from the Atlantic side. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you do want to stay updated on all things weather, and if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help us out a lot. And if you want to stay updated on the weather in Florida, and of course the tropics as we venture through the rest of the peak of hurricane season and beyond, hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you next time.